Welcome back to our second episode of In Our Eyes, a podcast created to highlight school clubs and upcoming events through the eyes of the students, brought to you by Envision Media and Journalism. I am your primary host, Isabella Castro, and today, as my co-host, we have Jalen Hill. Welcome, Jalen.
Thank you. Feel very welcomed. On today's episode, we're interviewing Aarika Tripathi about the book that she wrote, The Invisible String, as a senior in high school. How's that feel?
It feels pretty good. I feel really proud of myself and accomplished, and yeah, it's a pretty good start.
That's really well. That's really good.
Yeah, like the fact that you published a book just as a senior is already amazing enough.
Thank you.
But like, what inspired you to write it?
I grew up in a family that really loves like literature. My mom really loves books. My sister really loves books. I really love books. My mom loved books so much that my first movie was Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince when I was like a couple of months old. So that's a fun fact there. But I've always been inspired by literature, and I've really gotten into murder mysteries for the past couple of years, and I thought I would try, see how it goes.
Oh my goodness, I love murder mysteries.
Yeah.
They're so like interesting just to like figure out who it is. Like the anticipation is just like amazing.
Yeah,
And
I agree.
what is your book about? Just tell us a little more about it.
So this book revolves around three characters, Asuka, Clara, and Charlie. And so they're all like products of like parental neglect or like neglect in their environment. And so all three of them are hanging out with Clara's boyfriend and their friend Chris. And like they are told that a police officer has been murdered, and there's like this mark of like a 1 on him. Like it's like a signature mark. And they slowly become the center of this investigation because more and more people die, and they tend to get closer to that group. So rather than trying to like figure out who did it, it's more about like how it's affected them and like how they've changed because of this, and like how it is influencing them in their lives and how they're like figuring it out.
Wow, that's pretty.
That's very extensive.
Yeah, right. So out of those characters you mentioned, who's your favorite?
Oh, I feel like that's really hard to, that's like saying who's your favorite kid.
Right.
I feel like they're all really interesting in different ways. I think like Asuka, I think has the most surprise about her. I think that most people are going to be most shocked with her character. I think with Charlie, he has a level of stability and sensibility, and I feel like he's really emotionally intelligent, which I think a lot of people would like. I think Clara, my favorite thing about her personally is that she's a really strong character, but I think her strongness, her strength, comes from like this emotional sensitivity and this like kindness that she shares, rather than like putting on a shield. It's rather that she's like giving others a shield to protect them as well.
Right, right. From looking at the description of your characters, I low-key think Chris, the jokester, is probably like my favorite character, because on here it says he's hiding more than he lets on, and I feel like that relates to a lot of people. Like they can joke outwardly, but like inwardly is like different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what character do you relate to the most?
Ah, jeez. Thankfully, not all of them. They're really sad. I think there's different aspects of each character I relate to. I think with Charlie especially, I feel like I also like to excel academically, and Charlie's like the smart friend, and he can be a little condescending sometimes, which... Anyways,
Right.
I think Clara has a lot of growth and confidence with herself, which I think a lot of people will be like able to relate to, and I think Asuka I feel like there's so much to her that affects her, and I think a lot of people, and myself included, can like understand like, oh, like how something that happens when you're young, or like something that happens, even if it's not that big of a deal at the time, feels like it can impact you now. So yeah.
Right. So I understand why we talked about what pretty much inspired you to start writing, but what inspired you to write The Invisible String, though?
Oh, this is a fun story. So in November of 2023, I watched the first Scream movie, and I really, really liked it. I thought it was really interesting that they had a killer who had zero motivation. He was just in for the fun. And then there was a killer with like an actual motivation. And so a couple of months after that, I was scrolling through TikTok, as one does in their free time, in like 2024. And I came across this TikTok that was like, what would be like the most interesting like motivation for a killer? And I was like, oh, like what would be a really interesting motivation? And I was thinking to myself, and I thought like a killer who thinks he's like, or he or she is doing like the right thing and like helping people and being like this vigilante killer. I would think that's a really interesting theory, and I thought like, how would that work out in like a novel style? And so that's how it became, and then that led to like a whole thing. But yeah, so like originally, like you were supposed to get every kill's like point of view and like how it happened and like who, like what it is. And then I looked at it and I hated it. I was like, oh, I don't like how that worked out. or like you were supposed to know who the killer was the entire book rather than just finding out at the end.
Right.
And they were supposed to get their own separate point of view, but I ended up like scrapping that.
Interesting.
Oh, that's really cool. And like, how long did it take you to write it?
I think it was kind of a process. I wrote it mostly throughout my sophomore and junior year, and then somewhere around end of like middle to end of junior year I finished it, but I felt like it wasn't like complete, so I was going back and like adding chapters and adding like paragraphs to make sure that the story felt like finished.
And what's it like seeing yourself now as like a published author? How do you feel?
It's really like really cool. I think it's like I've been able to like impact something, like I've been able to be like, I've done this and it's made like a real world influence, and I think it's kind of something I can use to like anchor myself and being like, this was like hard, but you did it, and it's like out there.
Right. Honestly, it's kind of crazy. I mean, like, senior in high school, and you're already on the back of a book with your own description about you. Like, just think, like, if you internalize that, that's actually crazy compared to where other people stand in high school. You know what I mean?
No, definitely.
Oh, right.
No. It's not like an ego boost. I feel like it is really inspiring, but I also think it's like really humbling at the same time, because I like know the process that it took, and I was humbled by it and inspired by it. So it's nice.
Have you experienced writer's block?
Have I experienced writer's block?
Yeah.
So much. A lot of times, especially when I was getting kind of in the beginning of the book, I was on this like flow, and I got to the middle of it, and I was at like the third kill, but I didn't know how I wanted to write it. I wrote it like 4 different ways, and I was like, I don't like all of these. So I had to like rewrite the whole thing, or like towards the end, when I was like, after I finished the first section, my mom was like, you need to like put a part here. And so I like literally, it came to me at like 2 in the morning, like what I should do. And I swear, they say no good ideas come up after 2 a.m., but if you're a writer, that's when your best ideas come. So.
Right.
No, I definitely agree with that. Like, you can just be laying down, like just in bed or like scrolling on TikTok, and all of a sudden it's just like, oh my goodness.
This is what should happen.
Literally.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you're a part of like, aside from just writing, what else do you do?
So I do Taekwondo outside of school. I've done Taekwondo since 2013. So I started it when I started kindergarten. So I was 5. I am currently holding a 3rd degree black belt in Taekwondo. I've been teaching for the past couple of years. I've started teaching in my freshman year. So I teach kids from ages 5 to adults who are like in their 80s, and I teach from like Little Tigers, which is our program for kids, to like black belts, who are like my degree. And then a couple of weeks ago, I started preparing for my 4th degree black belt testing, which is like a master testing. So I'll be the 31st 4th degree black belt in Taekwondo, and like not in Taekwondo in general, but at our school. So that'd be really cool. I also, in school, I do a lot of clubs. I do academic team and theater are like my main 2 like clubs. I really love theater. I think it's another outlet. And I also do youth in government. I do mock trials specifically. I've done mock trials since freshman year, and I even interned at the public defender's office a year ago.
Oh, that sounds really cool. How was that?
It was really, really cool. I was able to, like, at first, I think, because I was 16, so they had to be a little more careful. So I was able to watch plea deals and, like, go to courtrooms. And then towards the end of that, I had, like, my own key card, which I could, like, swipe and go and do all of that. And I could, like, get around the building. And I was able to watch like body camera footage of like police and like finding a body, or like I was able to give like help on the closings on a drug case. Like I was able to help an attorney with that. So yeah,
Having like your own key card, that would make me feel so like professional.
Wow.
that was so cool. I
Just
know,
like walk around like, yeah, I have my own key
my
card.
little blazer.
Right. Can we just talk about your accolades for a second? I mean, like, dang, like, yeah, my name is Aarika. I do Taekwondo. I'm also in youth and government. I can teach people from 5 to, 80 years old. And I'm also on the back of a book, if you didn't know. Yeah, so there's so many things that I do. So
Yeah, well.
right, it's pretty nice.
Yeah, and how's like theater going?
I really love theater. So for our International Thespian Society, I serve as our president, which is really cool. I was elected last year. And so right now we are preparing for Alice in Wonderland, which is our fall show. It's November 21st and 22nd. You guys should come. I would appreciate it. But I am an actress in that, and I'm working on costume and makeup too.
Oh, cool. What like character are you playing?
I play the White Queen and the Duchess, so it'll be fun.
Oh, that sounds really cool.
So you're part of theater, right?
I am part of theater.
Can you tell me about your upcoming role? Like, what's you play the Duchess, correct?
Yes.
So tell me just a little bit about that.
Okay, so for the Duchess and the White Queen, I think the roles are very interesting to me because they tend to be, the characters themselves are like a little more ditzy. And so I think to separate myself from the characters, I also like kind of give them a voice. Like for the White Queen, she's tired and she's so sad and she just wants to be alone. So she kind of sounds like this. And like the Dutch is a little more like rough, but she has this kind of like maternal vibe.
Right.
But it's been very fun like preparing for it. And I love rehearsals. I love theater so much.
Sounds fun.
That's really good.
Yeah.
And I mean, could you see yourself becoming an actor? Or would you more want to stick to like the writer?
I think I would like to minor in creative writing when I get to college, but right now my main goal, I really love law. I have like a passion for criminal justice and mock trial. I think my internship really confirmed like this is what I want to do. I feel like nothing has come like so, like, I don't want to say naturally, but like, yeah, naturally is probably the right word, where it's like I feel like I'm set to do this. So I want to major in psychology and political science pre-law next year at college.
That's dope.
Okay,
That's
so
dope.
like lawyer and then an artist.
Right. And then,
I was like,
Combo.
an author. Like,
yes.
so we've been talking a lot about things you do,
Yes.
but real question here:
Yeah.
how's your senior year going?
My senior year is going pretty good. I feel like this year has been a really big year. Like A, I'm graduating. B,
Right.
like everything that's happened so far. I think senior year is a very interesting feeling because at one hand you're like really excited because it's like oh, like I'm on my own now, like that's so cool. And I feel like at one point it's like scary because it's like, oh, I'm on my own now, because I feel like I've gained a lot of independence this year, especially because I started driving. So yeah.
Okay.
And just bringing it back to the book, how do you feel like it's changed your life? Or if it hasn't yet, how do you feel like it's going to in the future?
I feel like writing has always been like an outlet for me, like creatively. If I'm having a bad day, you're really tall because the chapters get really, really sad when I'm having a bad day. But I think for influence on my life, wow. Geez, no, that's a good question. I feel like writing about something, and like you will know that like the characters, they typically reflect people around you or even yourself. And I feel like it's given me the opportunity to do a lot of introspection on like who I am and like growth and like how much I can grow as like a person. I think that's like what I'm trying to do, is become more like a better person every day and to grow every day emotionally and like physically.
And what else do you have cooking up?
What else do I have cooking up? Good question. I think my, again, we have like play, and then I have backfill testing in March. So we have like, so Pumse is like, if you've ever watched like the Karate Kid or like Cobra Kai, these things called katas, and it's like that, but in Taekwondo form. It's just like a sets of blocks and punches, and you have to do like all of them for your fourth degree testing. So I'm prepping on that for my November like maintenance testing. So it's like, can you do it? But I am just like, I like to write, so I sometimes write things, you know. I'm working on the second one. We'll see how it goes.
Oh, okay, so we can expect a part 2 to the book.
Well, it's not a sequel. It'll probably be a standalone, because the way this book ends, I don't think it'll have a sequel, just the way that like it ends. I feel like there's not a lot of room for a sequel without it being like an exploitation.
True,
Right.
yeah.
So being closet 2026,
I see.
10 years from now, and what, 2036? Oh my lord. 2036, do you have any goals? Like anything you want to do in those 10 years?
I think, well, okay, so ideally, if it's 2026 and I graduate college in 2030, and then I would graduate law school in 2033, which means 2036, I would be 3 years out of law school, if that's the plan I go on. So I think my main goal would just to continue to grow and just continue to be like my idea of success, even if that changes. So like whether that's I continue in writing or I continue in the law or whatever I like end up doing. So I think I want to be consistently challenged and consistently striving for growth.
Nice. One more question for you.
Of course.
What is your definition of success?
I think that's a good question. My definition of success. I think success is defined by growth. I think that success is not being like consistently the best or consistently at the same spot. I think it is consistency and growth and making sure you're improving every day. I feel like I always go with the mentality of like, if you're the smartest person in the room, like you've entered the wrong room. Like you need to constantly be challenged in your life. And I feel like for me to be successful, I think I want to be challenged. I want to be challenged. I want to be with the people I love. I want to be constantly growing. And I want to feel like I have gone up a curve and like myself, whether that's like how I am emotionally or physically or like whatever it is, I want to just grow.
It's nice. Great definition. I like that.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. And for all you viewers, if you guys are listening and want to learn about Aarika's book, Invisible String, check it out on Amazon. We also have a QR code that you can just scan and it'll take you straight to the link.
Oh, yeah.
Right. You're official. We got a QR code now you can scan.
I know, it's so cool.
Right.
I have a QR code. Cool. QR code now.
Right. All right. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. Very first time writing a book. Congratulations, Aarika.
Thank you.
And thank you for taking your time to meet with us.
Of course.
From here, Fountain High School, the students and teachers, I feel like I can speak on both of their behalf. We congratulate you.
Thank you so much.
So, and I can't wait to see where it goes from here.
Thank you.
And that is all for our second episode of In Our Eyes. We're your hosts, Isabella Castro and Jalen Hill. We'll see you next week, Fury.